This is your weekly IUP-TV news bulletin, broadcasted from the comfort of our own homes. My name is Samaya Huey.
And my name is Tristan West. We bring you stories that are relevant to IUP and the community. Let's begin with local news. If you have a chance to go around Fox's Pizza on Philadelphia Street, you'll have a chance to see the process of making beautiful murals. Artists of the Spruce Art Residency Program will be painting with air-purifying paint that absorbs aerial pollutants, reduces carbon dioxide, and eliminates odors. The Spruce Art Residency Program has been operating since 2016. They painted over 100 murals up and down the East Coast, and this is the second effort for this artist residency after painting a series of murals on the Indiana Theater 5 years ago.
As the number of COVID-19 cases in Pennsylvania continue to rise, the Pennsylvania Department of Health has added 3 more states to the travel advisory list. The restriction was considered necessary because of the increasingly large number of COVID cases, which may put those traveling to or through these states at a significant risk for infection. Today, the total number of states on the travel advisory list is 26. Those who have recently traveled to these states were expected to self-quarantine for at least 2 weeks.
Hurricane Delta has caused serious damage, dumping rain on the mid-Atlantic and northeast regions of the U.S. for the past couple of days. Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi are especially getting hit hard, with Delta being categorized as a Category 2 hurricane. With wind speeds up to 90 miles per hour, Delta is predicted to be able to cut off power to hundreds of thousands and create mass destruction to homes and other buildings, even derailing a train in Georgia. Delta is the 25th storm in 2020, and 5 of those have made landfall in the U.S., making it the most since 2005.
Dr. Banvigel Antle, the zookeeper from the Netflix documentary Tiger King, has been charged with the wildlife trafficking in the state of Virginia in connection to lion cubs being illegally moved between Virginia and South Carolina. The zookeeper and former Netflix star has been charged with 2 felonies and over a dozen misdemeanors by the Attorney General of Virginia. Antle has released a statement saying that the charges presented are untrue and that he has dedicated his life to the preservation of exotic animals. A representative of the Humane Society of the United States has said that they are thrilled and that Antle Zoo needs to be shut down due to its cruel treatment towards animals.
Iga Swiatek of Poland has won the French Open at the very young age of 19. As the 54th ranked player, she is the lowest ranked woman to reach the finals in Paris since 1975. In doing so, she beat the American Sophia Kenin to win her first major title of her career with a domination victory. Although she did not have to compete against some of the major stars like Ash Barty, who did not compete because of fears of COVID-19, and Serena Williams, who was injured in her second round, it was still a well-earned victory.
For the first time in its history, the World Trade Organization will be led by a woman. The organization, which is in charge of regulating international trade, has announced the 2 final candidates for the position of Director General: Yoo Myung-hee of South Korea and Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala of Nigeria. Not only is this the first time the World Trade Organization will be led by a woman, but also the first time a woman of color, who will hold the office of Director General. The announcement comes after Roberto Avizito, the current Director General, announced in March that he would be stepping down due to family reasons a year before his term was set to end.
Going to a bookstore can be a relaxing trip. If you live in Indiana, there's one bookstore in town that offers various books with staff who can greet and offers some recommendations. Our reporter Tara Logan visited the bookstore and found out how this store has to compete with websites like Amazon that offer easier and more convenient ways of buying books. Here's the story.
Bradley's Book Outlet has been in the Indiana Mall for many years. While plenty of other stores have come and gone, Bradley's seemed to weather each storm. But all good things must come to an end.
It was very heartbreaking to find out the store was going to close. I was hoping to be here for at least another few years, but...
Every day, Janice comes in at 9:30 to fill out paperwork and get the store ready to open. She's been working here for 3 years and was hoping to get a full year in as manager. But in the beginning of August, Bradley's Books announced they'd be closing all their brick-and-mortar stores, making Janice just 1 month short of that full year.
Sales had been down for a few years, so COVID didn't really hurt it a whole lot because it was already going downhill. I mean, it did hurt us because we were closed for 3 months, but no, I don't believe it had that big of an impact.
Many book lovers have relied on Amazon for years, and now that might be the only option for Indiana residents.
Yeah, I prefer going to smaller stores than going on Amazon just because it is a lot better to support small companies, and also there's a lot of controversy over Amazon right now and how they treat their workers. But it's cheaper, so.
Small bookstores around the country have been closing at an alarming rate. Book lovers often state they prefer to shop in person, to look and browse among books. But now it's quite the trek to get somewhere that they can do that.
If I had to go to a bookstore now that Bradley's is closing, I'd probably go to Barnes and Nobles, either in Altoona or Greensburg, which is kind of disappointing because it's so far away.
Indiana manager Janice Davis says they should be staying open until December. They have yet to receive a concrete closing date.
I had turned on to beer, in my early 20s. My dad was really into beer. I had some friends that were home brewers, and I started brewing when I was in college. It just always struck me as the most fun business with the best people. When we set out to create the company, my partner and I really fancied ourselves evil geniuses in a way. The whole creative process of, starting a brewery with big tanks and, water rolling everywhere, the symbolism was just there for us. Well, we chose to locate our brewery in the Fishtown section of Philadelphia because of its rich tradition of manufacturing. And we wanted it to be old and historic and have a lot of character. We didn't want it to feel like, you're walking into a doctor's office, But at the end of the day, we were able to find the right building in the right neighborhood with a lot of young people that was really up and coming. I mean, we make some really awesome beer, and that is first and foremost. If you don't have a good quality product, then in a market where people sort of demand that, then you're kind of you're doomed in a way. But also, like, the way that we our branding really helps. I mean, it's very whimsical, it's very funny, very nostalgic in a lot of ways. I mean, it really appeals to fonder memories of when you were young. I mean, that's so important to us. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be in the beer business if it wasn't for IUP. I just got to meet so many new people from so many different places, from all across the state and even all across the country. And I really felt that, being a comm media major, having a sort of communication style background prepared me really well to go into the world as a salesperson. And then my sales experience, then I was able to parlay into being the business development manager for my business. So, you can never connect the dots looking forward. You can only kind of do it looking back. And I definitely, truly believe that I wouldn't be here today or doing what I'm doing unless I enrolled in IUP.
Fall is slowly approaching, which means nice cool weather, hot apple cider, and a calm night by the fire. While some people may not appreciate fall, this is great news for the people who hunt and fish, especially eager hunters and fishermen in the Pennsylvania area. Our reporter, Mackenzie Ocker, has the story.
It is that time of the year where hunting and fishing season is upon us in Pennsylvania. While the weather is still nice, many fishermen and hunters will be heading outdoors in hopes of reeling in a catch or getting a deer. Many fishermen have seen fishing as a relaxing time to get away from friends and family, while others fish competitively. Meet Jason Zuberis, an environmental resource management major and president of the Pennsylvania State University Bass Fishing Club. I spoke with Jason on his fishing stories and adventures.
Fishing story. Oh gosh. I gotta say it was my first tournament that I ever boated. So it was in New York about 3 years ago, and I was in probably the smallest boat in the whole field. I had a little bass tracker, and we were on Cayuga Lake up in New York. Now it's a very big lake, and the weather was absolutely horrible that day. And the wind was blowing all over the place. We had waves coming over the boat. We were not having fun. We were scared. And we ended up going back into this little back pocket, little back swamp. And we ended up coming in 6 out of maybe 75, 80 boats in that competition. And so that was my first, that's how you qualify for your nationals, is to get a top 10. So that was my first tournament. I got a top 10 out of just, trying to get out of the wind. So that's always a good memory for me. One of the most memorable ones was I was out on Lake Erie, and there was just a storm blew in out of nowhere. I wasn't really paying attention to the radar, and we had a storm coming in. And basically, it took me about 2.5 hours to go about 5 miles to get back in. So there's waves crashing all over the place. My partner's like, "What's going on?" And we're just all scared out there. And thank God we made it back in. Go fishing. Go enjoy the outdoors. Out here in Pennsylvania, we have so many good resources to go out and enjoy. Just get out there and enjoy it. That's the only thing I could push along.
Like Jason said, make sure you all get out there and enjoy the fall foliage here in Pennsylvania. This has been Mackenzie Auger reporting for IUP-TV News.
Driving is a privilege that some people may carelessly take advantage of. With teen crashes being at an all-time high, it leaves room for the question, what age is the appropriate age for people to start driving? Our reporter Chandler Saylor has the story.
After a pair of accidents at North Star High School, we asked the question, are high school students prepared to drive? Many high school students drive to school every day, but not long ago, a student lost control of his vehicle just outside of the building.
When all of a sudden I hear a loud metallic crash outside. Everyone in my study hall goes out to look at what it is, and we just see a railing bent down and a car crashed right into the wall.
The vehicle jumped to the curb and went up a ramp before smashing into a wall. Shortly afterwards, there was another accident.
And then another one happened like 10 minutes later because apparently Preston's friend found out and he was just speeding down to where it happened. And since it had been like pouring rain like a couple minutes earlier, he ended up just hydroplaning.
Another high school student lost control of his vehicle and crashed into a boulder. The vehicles were totaled in both accidents. There is no confirmation on the students' conditions. After these accidents, we are left to wonder, do students get enough training to drive?
But from what happened on that day, I don't think so, no.
I know a lot of them definitely lie about how many hours they get, but I mean most of them are relatively good drivers. It's just, there's that one odd kid every now and then that'll do some stupid things. But I think it just really depends on the kid, to be honest.
Hopefully, this is the last time there's an instance of this kind. This has been Chandler Saylor reporting.
Well, that's all the news we have for you this week. Don't forget to check out our Instagrams and our YouTube pages to check up on episodes you may have missed. My name is Samaya Huey.
And my name is Tristan West. Stay safe out there, IP, and we'll see you next week.